What is up, guys? It's Miguel here from Yugatech, and it's finally here. In the Philippines, Vivo's last entry into the flagship space was back in 2022 with the Vivo X80. It's been a long time coming since then. And what a time to be back with this titan of a phone, the Vivo X200 Pro. In this video, we go over the best features from the device to demonstrate what one can expect from a phone of this caliber. Just look how big that camera bump is. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, if you guys didn't already get the hint earlier, the #1 best feature from the Vivo X200 Pro has got to be that camera system. I mean, there is a reason why it's a finalist for the best smartphone and best smartphone camera of the year categories in this year's Yugatech Choice Awards. So, we hope all you guys got your votes in. But anyway, the camera system. This is where the X200 Pro shines, headlined by the 200 megapixel ZEISS APO periscopic telephoto camera, which is this one over here. APO means apochromatic and refers to the lens in the periscopic telephoto sensor, designed and crafted to capture images with better correction of chromatic and spherical aberration. And if you don't know what chromatic or spherical aberrations are, here are some samples on screen for you all to get a better picture. No pun intended. This telephoto sensor opens up with an aperture of f2.7 and is equivalent to an 85mm focal length, which translates to the phone's 3.7x optical zoom. And I'm really liking the shots we've taken from that lens. It's great for faraway subjects, portraits with the 85mm compression, and even up-close macro shots.
We think its macro mode implementation places itself in one of the top 3 best performers we've seen this year.
What it does get the most brownie points for is its ease of use. When in use, it gets to a point where you're at 10x zoom and you're in macro mode, and you're just finding the perfect focal distance for the shot. Vivo's made this a lot easier with their software by giving the user what I can only describe as like an aim assist, more commonly seen in shooter games played with a controller or on console. It's really one of those you gotta try it out to really understand type of features, but literally it's aim assist for your macro photography using the telephoto sensor on the Vivo X200 Pro. Pretty sick. As you can see from our sample shots, they look frickin' clinical, but just enough that it doesn't look too digital. The sharpness, the bokeh, it's all on point here in my opinion. It's also fun to see options for picture profiles, built-in filters, and different ZEISS bokeh options for portrait mode to please most full auto photographers utilizing a Vivo X200 Pro. We've also really appreciated the humanistic street camera mode. I stumbled upon this by accident when customizing my settings just because I wanted like a physical button shortcut to quickly open the camera app even when the screen wasn't on. And it works like so. So here, that's the street camera mode, which I activated while locked by double pressing the volume down key. We can also enter this mode by heading into your camera app and swiping up from the bottom or tapping this arrow here at the bottom. And that's what activates the humanistic street camera mode feature. And basically vice versa. See, like boop. Now we're back into the normal camera. Apart from the telephoto sensor, there's also the main 50 megapixel Sony LYT818 camera sensor that gets an aperture of f1.6. Both the telephoto and main camera get phase detection, autofocus, and optical image stabilization baked in, with the second 50 megapixel ultra-wide only getting a standard autofocusing system. Then again, with a 119-degree field of view, we're sure it's more than enough for those kinds of shots. I mean, it is an ultra-wide anyway. In front resides the 32 megapixel ultra-wide selfie camera, perfect for group selfies and the usual. We are also happy to report that the front-facing camera is just as well tuned as the triple camera system at the rear. Landscape mode is also worth mentioning, great for taking architectural photos, baked in with ZEISS perspective correction, which users can toggle on or off. For video, we can shoot at a max resolution of 8K at 30 frames per second with the rear sensors, minus the ultra-wide, and 4K at 60 frames per second with the selfie camera. There are also ultra-steady modes for both the front and back. It works with the main cameras at a max res of 2.8K at 60 frames per second and 1080p at 60p with the front-facing camera. And also expect quite the crop when in these stabilization modes. Both front and rear also feature Dolby Vision certified HDR capture, which is pretty nice if you're into that sort of thing. And when digging into video mode settings, gosh, this thing is such a treat. Apart from the usual grid lines, we even get options for a leveler, just to see, you know, if your horizon is perfectly leveled, widescreen aspect ratio, a virtual teleprompter for when vlogging with the selfie camera, or notes for when using the rear camera and using the teleprompter mode there. But what really takes it home, exclusive to the rear camera, is the ability to shoot log for better dynamic range and flexibility in post. Obviously, you'd have to be the type of user or power user who would actually use these neat video features. I mean, we haven't even gotten into pro mode, where we get even more control for either photo and video. So yeah, we can also shoot RAW for those wondering and gain more manual control over our white balance, exposure compensation, shutter speed, and ISO. We do get aperture control for photo, but not for video. Overall, we really like the very complete camera system in the vivo X200 Pro. There's lots of stuff to play with, and in our opinion, it's good enough for professional work, especially in the right hands. Maybe not these ones, but you know. Special mention to Vivo's V3 Plus imaging chip, which definitely plays a big role in delivering the speedy processing and low light capabilities from the camera system in the X200 Pro. ZEISS optics and Vivo's proprietary software definitely show off a lot with this device. The Vivo X200 Pro's build and construction also deserves some spotlight. It's actually pretty slim for a tall phone. Although its dimensions also help to compensate and make the plus-size phone feel very ergonomic, in my hands at least. It also features an IP69 Plus rating, making it dust-proof and water-resistant in depths of up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. Like always, we mean fresh water, not salt water, because that will pretty much kill your phone's internals almost instantly. And we do not recommend too many dips in chlorinated water either, because chlorine can degrade the seals that make the IP certification possible faster too. Yeah. Again, the buttons and overall ergonomics feel great in my hands, despite the gigantic camera housing here at the rear. I do still miss left-sided volume rockers, not gonna lie. And the aluminum alloy frame feels extra premium. Users can even notice the slight vibration feedback when tapping it hard enough. I don't know if the mic will get it, but let's see. But yeah, there's some like metallic vibes, like vibrations going on. Premium stuff. But of course, that super premium metal frame gets sandwiched by glass, which most of you can also infer means we get wireless charging on board. At this budget, it's sort of a no-brainer anyways. Speaking of glass, the 6.78-inch quad-curved LTPO AMOLED panel also gets ZEISS tuning, which is a world's first, boasting ZEISS-certified color-accurate displays. It features the 2024 flagship display standards, HDR10+ and Dolby Vision certification to go along with the camera system, a 120Hz refresh rate, and 4,500 nits of peak brightness.
With Shot Alpha display protection for resistance against scratches on top.
The audio performance from the dual stereo speakers are excellent as well. They weren't the loudest out there, but users can get a crisp and balanced soundstage with great clarity out of the Vivo X200 Pro. That, in combination with the professional color profile in display settings, deliver one of the best multimedia consumption experiences I've gotten from a flagship phone in 2024. And yes, this goes for gaming as well. Quick mention for biometrics. The in-display ultrasonic fingerprint sensor recognizes my prints very quickly and accurately, with absolutely no qualms. There's also face unlock, but I didn't really need it for the X200 Pro because I did prefer the ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner for most of my unlocking moments. So for best features from this device so far, we've covered the cameras, the build, and its display. Some of you guys may be wondering about the chip that runs it all. Well, inside the Vivo X200 Pro is a MediaTek Dimensity 9400, the second time we're seeing this 3nm chipset that features 8 cores that can go up to 3.62 GHz clock speeds, promising blazing fast performance and seamless multitasking. I mean, just check out the benchmark numbers. They truly speak for themselves, especially in December of 2024. Our unit is configured with 16 GB of RAM, which we can extend with another 16 GB in sacrifice of some storage. Although 16 GB does seem plenty already, in our opinion, this feature was turned on by default. And with 512 GB of UFS 4 internal storage in here, I didn't really seem to mind in my testing. So yes, virtual memory or RAM is on with our Vivo X200 Pro. Genshin Impact highest graphics setting set to 60 frames per second, no problem. So performance was definitely no slouch for the Vivo X200 Pro, which handled our heavy gaming sessions and last-minute holiday productivity tasks and hours of music and video streaming with no sweat. Moving on, the Vivo X200 Pro runs on FunTouch OS 15 based on Android 15 out of the box, with reports of up to 4 years of major OS updates and probably 5 years of security patches. And between you and me, I haven't experienced FunTouch this good in such a long time. I mean, yes, those weird app notifications for suggestions to download all these apps and such are still there at boot, but it's really not that hard to just silence those notifications altogether. Like literally like 3 taps and you're done. FunTouch OS 15 on the Vivo X200 Pro pleasantly eases users with their quirky features and apps you may just want to hide away in a folder somewhere. But we still love to see the options to choose dynamic animation effects for personalization. I've pretty much configured the X200 Pro as a one-to-one copy of my daily driver in terms of functionality. From the sidebar, double pressing a button to launch the camera, pop-up windows, or split screening for productivity, to Android Auto. Everything just worked perfectly, especially when you figure out how to organize the chatter, which is, again, pretty easy. We also want to say that FunTouch OS in a flagship handset like this just hits different in the best way imaginable. Our last best feature for the Vivo X200 Pro is its battery. The Vivo X200 Pro is powered by a massive 6,000 mAh silicon carbon battery, which gets support for 90 watts of flash charge technology and 30 watts of wireless flash charge support, as well as reverse wired charging, which allows us to use the Vivo X200 Pro as a makeshift power bank for any other device you own. We can charge up to 50% in just 20 minutes with the included brick, and up to 100% in an hour or less, again with the included brick in the box. On days where I'm not binging shows or movies on the X200 Pro at all, I can easily go to sleep without having to worry about not charging the phone. Although, this could be because I utilize wired Android Auto when on the road, but technically, that doesn't really count, right? In our PC Mark Work 3.0 battery test, the Vivo X200 Pro lasted an impressive 18 hours and 47 minutes. And in our proprietary video loop test, it garnered a result of 28 hours and 39 minutes. But yeah, that's pretty much all the best features we could think of from the Vivo X200 Pro. I mean, it's as if we just mentioned all of the features, right? It's pretty much a complete package over here. In many ways, it's more than just a smartphone. It's a mobile photography powerhouse. From its ZEISS-powered imaging system to its industry-leading performance and durability, it sets a new benchmark for what flagships should be, especially come 2025. Oh, and before I forget, the Vivo X200 Pro, configured with 16GB of RAM and 512GB of internal storage, gets a Philippine SRP of 69,999 pesos. Nice. The base model X200 in the same configuration goes for 57,999 pesos. Our review for that one should be coming out at a later date, if not out already, but stay tuned for that. Links for where to check out the Vivo X200 Pro from its official Philippine merchants can be found in the description box below. And that's it for this video. What do you guys think of Vivo's return to the flagship realm with the Vivo X200 Pro? I mean, if my point is not coming across, this phone is so solid, guys. Like, you guys just try it out in person. I swear, a lot of you guys will get blown away. Galing, galing. But if you guys have any other thoughts or just want to fan about the Vivo X200 Pro, as usual, just let us know in the comment section below. But if you found this video helpful, insightful, or fun, be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit that bell icon so you get notified of our future uploads. Be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And yep, that's it. Again, this was the flagship Vivo X200 Pro. And I'm Miguel from Yugatech. And I'll see ya in the next one. Bye-bye. Cheers.